Thank you, Corla. The litmus test of any budget is that nobody is left behind, and that all citizens feel they have a stake in what's happening, and that the budget, if you like, has something for them, their families and their communities. Now, in the current cost of living crisis, this budget has to provide a safety net for those most at risk of poverty or those who are actually experiencing poverty, a growing cohort in this country. The increase in the core social welfare rates of €12 per week is simply not enough. I know it's part of a package and there are other layers of support, one-off payments, etc., but some groups get some payments, others don't. But at the very, very least, €15 per week is the minimum required. Social Justice Ireland and St Vincent de Paul are saying it falls far short of what's needed. And these are the organisations dealing with people experiencing poverty on a day-to-day basis. They have no axe to grind, they have no political agenda, they are dealing with the harsh reality of poverty and deprivation. They're saying it's not enough, and I agree with them. Now, Minister, there are some positive aspects to this budget, but my role as a member of the opposition is to look to see where it falls down, where it fails people, and make the case to government to think again. In this context, while one-off payments are welcome, they do not address the long-term issues of poverty, especially for disabled people and others who are living on the margins. I fully agree with the independent living movement when they say any measure is welcome, but a once-off payment won't reduce poverty, won't improve income inequality, and won't have a long-term impact on our quality of life. One of my biggest disappointments is that carers allowance is still means tested and is still not a qualifying payment for fuel allowance. In order to get fuel allowance, you have to be living alone or with certain others and getting certain social welfare payments. It's absolutely incredible that carers allowance is not one of those payments, and the Minister for Social Protection needs to think again. Family carers are at home 24/7, using more heat, light, electricity than the average family. How are they supposed to pay the bills that will be landing on their mats over the next few days, weeks and months? Furthermore, I was shocked to hear, and please tell me I'm wrong, but it's my understanding that only one of the €200 energy credits will be paid to people before Christmas. That simply won't be enough, not only for carers, but for working people, those on low incomes, on fixed incomes, especially those not in receipt of the fuel allowance. People just won't be able to pay their bills between now and Christmas, and I'm calling on the Minister to ensure that at least 2 of the €200 energy credits be paid to all households before Christmas. In this context, I want to draw attention to the fact that the current electricity credit scheme will not benefit a significant number of traveller families if they share an MPRN connection, let's say with one or more households. For example, if you have 4 families sharing a connection, they get €50 each. This is not acceptable and it's discriminatory. It's as simple as that. The Minister has to find a solution. For example, you could resource local authorities to make these payments. My only statement on this is find a way. What's happening is unfair. Can I also say, Minister, that the derisory increase of €5 as a top-up to CE, TUS and RSS participants must be amended. This brings their top-up to the princely sum of €25 per week. That's what they get for 19.5 hours work on top of job seekers. It wouldn't pay people to put an extra 2 or 3 litres of petrol or diesel in their cars if they have a car, just to get to work. At the very least, the increase should have measured the €12 social welfare increase. Another group, Minister, that won't benefit in this budget are those who are on what they call Class D pensions. This group of people, mainly women, worked in health boards, social welfare offices, pension offices, government departments, and many were changed to a Class D stamp in the mid-70s. This was revised and reversed in the mid-90s, but there is a cohort of people, mostly on small fixed pensions, who don't qualify for any extra supports like fuel allowance. You know, Minister, that in order to get fuel allowance, you have to be in receipt of a qualifying payment. And you can, and it's good in this budget, earn up to €500 per week and still get it. Yet the vast majority of the people I'm speaking about, retired women who don't earn even close to that €500 a week, cannot qualify for the fuel allowance. It's a huge anomaly, it's unfair and unjust for those women who are caught in this poverty trap. I had hoped this budget might address it. It hasn't happened, and I'll certainly be asking Minister Humphreys to look at it again. And finally, Minister, in the week that the EU downgraded the development status of the Northern and Western region for the second time in 3 years, and in the week when we see the collapse of sterling, both of those factors have a hugely negative impact on the region. Sterling collapse has a negative impact on cross-border trade. Brexit, of course, wasn't even mentioned in this budget. But the budget has been silent on balanced regional development. Budgets don't just impact families and individuals, they impact communities and regions. The Programme for Government has promised us time and time again to deliver balanced regional development. We haven't done it. If you look, the Northern and Western region, comparatively speaking, is 21 percentage points worse off than it was in 2006, if you compare it with other regions. Minister, that's simply not acceptable, and we see that the gap between the regions is increasing. Those disparities must be stopped. This budget today offered nothing for people living in that region to believe that this government was even beginning to deliver on their promise of balanced regional development.
Thank you, Deputy.